the meeting reviewed the protests against elements of the Nigeria police and the response of the federal government to them. Protests against widespread and endemic insecurity in most parts of the North, and the apparent failure of the federal and state governments to improve the security of our communities. Widespread violence, destruction of public and private properties, assets, killings and lootings which followed the protests, meetings involving northern governors, federal government officials and northern traditional rulers, initiatives by the federal government officials, federal and state governments to engage communities and young people towards finding solutions to the causes of the protests and improving official responses to them, as well as the escalating insecurity in the North, among other issues. The forum had been actively engaged in reviews of developments around these issues and had made public comments when it became necessary to express opinions and advice. The public will recall that this forum had advised that the protests should cease while government looked into the real cause sources of the grievances championed by young people in the initial stages of these protests. We had foreseen and warned of the possibility that elements with different agenda were likely to hijack the protests. Sadly, we were proved right. This is the time to commend our northern youth who demanded for an end to insecurity in the North and appreciate their respect for our council. We want to assure them that their efforts will not be in vain, and this forum stands with them in the demand that the North must be secured by those who swore to secure us. This forum also raised concerns over attacks on Northerners and their assets and places of worship in many parts of the South. While we appealed to Northerners to stay put where they are and compile records of their losses of lives, injuries, and assets, we invited attention to the dangers of singling out people from particular parts of the country for one country or another, or one particular faith or the other for attacks. Northerners will continue to welcome people from all parts of the country, living and earning legitimate existence in the North. But we have to warn that deliberate targeting of people could have very serious repercussions for all communities in our country. The forum hereby commends governors and community leaders in the South who have taken steps to reassure our people of their safety and provide relief to them. We demand that our governors must engage their counterparts in the South to improve their responses to the plight of our people. We expect that losses suffered by Northerners will be redeemed by those who have an obligation to do so. The forum expresses its disappointment that the meeting organized in Kaduna with northern governors, high-level federal government officials, and traditional rulers barely made mention of the insecurity of our communities in the North. We noted the concern of the meeting with the possibility of subversives and criminal elements hijacking the protests in many cities in the South, as well as the potential for abuse of social media platforms, which appeared to be the major focus of this meeting in Kaduna. That meeting, unfortunately, missed a historic opportunity to acknowledge that northern communities are in dire need of improved security, and to give firm and specific assurances that our leaders care about northern lives and will take appropriate steps to protect us more. We took particular note of the pivotal roles of governors and traditional rulers at that meeting. Leaders who are thoroughly familiar with the daily assaults by insurgents, bandits, and kidnappers on Northerners. These are leaders who should have understood the high hopes which Northerners attached to a meeting of that nature in Kaduna. And they should understand that the impression left by that meeting and the frenzy of activities in parts of the South involving some northern leaders to show sympathy for damage from hoodlums leaves only one conclusion in the minds of Northerners: Northern lives do not matter. The forum notes the efforts of President Muhammadu Buhari to improve engagements with Northern leaders and hopes that these will not be public relations stunts in place of real efforts aimed at improving the security of our communities. The forum advises the President and governors to engage a broad spectrum of leaders, elders, and the young in the North to contribute to an appreciation of the dangers which our communities live with on a daily basis, and to enlist them as partners in the search for solutions. The forum is aware of attempts to weaken the North by interests that believe that this is their only path to success in the 2023 elections. These interests should know that the North will neither be blackmailed nor intimidated, and we are quite capable of identifying and protecting our own interests. Some of these interests seek to exploit our plural nature and deepen what they see as divisions in the North. They will fail, because Northerners know that what unites us is a lot stronger than what divides us. Others create the impression that the North is opposed to the country being restructured along lines that will improve the quality of our union, ensure higher standards of justice, better security, and progress for all Nigerians. These too shall fail. The North is ready to discuss all elements of our coexistence, but it will not be stampeded into submitting to other interests who feel uncomfortable with a strong and united North, or blackmailing us to adopt their versions of our future. This forum has concluded arrangements to hold its annual Northern Assembly, the flagship of Northern unity, which will focus on security in the North and the strategies for protecting and promoting Northern political and economic interests in Nigeria. The forum paid tribute to its Director General, Dr. Yima Sen, who died recently, whose services have been invaluable in placing it in its current position in the estimation of our Northern communities. Thank you.